What up, everybody? Good evening, good evening.
Hello.
Hey. Good evening. Let us know where you at, where you're coming from. What's up with you? How are you tonight?
We had some people come in early.
I love that. That's good. Share with us. Tell us your story. Tell us how your day's going. Tell us what's happening. Tell us what's going on. How are you?
Everybody had a great Monday, wonderful weekend.
Still going. Having a great Monday. Yeah. Everybody, how y'all doing tonight? Y'all coming in tonight. Y'all in here. Y'all in here. Y'all in here tonight. Man, this is bananas.
Make sure that you like and share, everybody.
Yeah, tell somebody.
Tell somebody.
You know, people need to be reminded every once in a while. Let them know it's Marriage Monday. We live, we on time. We live and on time. We want to get it in tonight. Live and on time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for rocking with us this evening.
Don't forget to let us know where you're coming from.
So good. So good.
Some people are watching at their date.
This is so good.
Watch at
your date night. It makes sense to watch at your date night and stay connected to the moment. So good. So tonight, we're going to get into a great topic, a great discussion. It's 9:00. So tag somebody, at somebody, let them know, because tonight we about to talk about how to accept an apology.
Wow.
What's good, guys?
Hi.
Good? Why do you do that?
Because I just like you.
Woo! Man, how y'all doing today?
Hey,
Hope
everybody.
Everybody's well. As you can see, I got some sun today. We do something on Mondays called Michigan Mondays, when we can take our family out on a little trip, spend some family time. So today we did that all day long, family and friends. It was great time, great timing. How's your Monday going? We had an incredible weekend.
Yeah.
Long weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunrise service, then church on Sunday, got back yesterday, and today, long day, but did not want to not show up.
Yeah, we are faithful to Marriage Monday. And it's interesting because someone told us they come to Marriage Monday even when they don't want to come.
That's right. Yesterday, somebody walked up to us and told us that, hey, I come to Marriage Monday even when I don't want to come to Marriage Monday, because I know I should come to Marriage Monday, and it's good for me. So that was dope. I mean, this weekend we had a bunch of encounters.
Yeah.
Scoot over, baby. Your shoulder is missing.
I'm sorry.
So we had a bunch of encounters with people just randomly while we were in Chicago, walking down the street, different places. We'd show up and they're like, yo, I go to Marriage Monday. I check it out. You're watching right now. I watch you on Periscope. I watch you on IG. I watch you on YouTube. Facebook and YouTube is the only two places we can see your comments. But we thank you for rocking with us tonight. We don't want to waste any time. We want to get into this topic of discussion tonight of how to accept an apology, right? So I accept your apologies. Can everybody just type that real quick? Type it down so we can get into it. Make sure we are on the same page. I accept your apology. I accept your apology. Is it difficult for you to accept an apology?
It's not.
Real talk.
It's not difficult for me to accept an apology because I guess I give what I want.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not difficult for me to accept an apology. I'm trying in my head. I was just trying to think of when was a time that it was difficult for me to receive somebody's apology. I think I'm very interested when people say, you know, they don't accept somebody's apology. I'm very interested.
Has it ever been difficult for you to accept an apology? From anybody, in any context, not just in the marriage,
I know.
In any context, in any relationship.
I'm thinking in any kind of context in a relationship. I think probably once before, because I felt like the person didn't mean.
You judged it.
I did. I judged it. That was the only time. But I just felt like, they just said it. They said they apologized because I said I was hurt, not because.
Like I feel sometimes. I'm just asking you.
Yeah.
So you say, some people say, yes, unfortunately, it is difficult to accept an apology. Somebody says always. Yes, always. It's difficult. Somebody says yes, if I know they truly mean it, don't mean it, right? Somebody else says, unfortunately, it's so hard for my husband to apologize. I didn't ask you about your husband. I asked you about you. We're quick to do that. We wanna talk about the other person, but in a marriage, before we talk about the other person, you gotta start with you. Is it difficult for you to accept an apology? And tonight we're gonna talk about that as well, right? So we get mad. Dave says we get mad. We get mad when people don't apologize on our timeline. I just want an apology with a heart to not hurt me again. With the heart to not hurt me again. Somebody says sometimes with repeat behavior. Somebody says sometimes people are not genuine. We are there when they are apologizing. Again, maybe y'all need to go back and watch 2 weeks ago when we talked about how to stay out of judgment, right? So when you're in a relationship, it's very difficult, but we must learn how to stay out of judgment, how to interpret for the other person. It's a discipline. It's very difficult, but you need to go back and watch the other two before they disappear that built up to this moment to talk about how to stay out of judgment, because I think staying out of judgment is one of the most difficult things for people to be able to properly accept an apology. Okay. So in any context, let's just get to it. We got 3 things. Y'all on fire tonight. Y'all got a lot of thoughts and comments. We're going to try to take some questions. So we might as well get to it because it's just 3 things that we're going to do. So I think it's very, very difficult and challenging. This is one of the things that become a deal breaker. That's why we spent 2 weeks in a relationship. So people don't apologize. People don't know how to accept an apology. Some people don't apologize because they say, if I apologize, they're not going to accept my apology anyway. Both people are judgy. Oh, it's not genuine, so that's why I didn't accept it. And you're not going to accept it. That's why I didn't apologize. Yeah. Both people in the space of of judgment. They're in the space. What did you say? I was saying stupid. Right. They're both in the space of judgment, and it's only basically hurting the relationship, right? They're hurting the relationship. And so when you think about this, we spent 2 weeks on this because I need to learn how to accept an apology, right? I need to learn how to accept an apology. That's why I asked everyone to write it and say it. If you have not written it and said it yet, say it by faith and say, I accept your apology, right? I accept your apology. So a happy marriage is the union of 2 people who know how to express forgiveness. Right. A happy marriage is 2 people. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Right. Nobody's perfect. And I'm going to hurt and offend you. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Yep. So we engage in that relationship with the intent to express forgiveness, to know that we need to be open and expressing forgiveness. So although we come on a Marriage Monday, you guys love rocking with us and coming, and we love that. Application is one of the most important things, right? So everybody type that. Just application is one of the most important things. So all these tools that we give you, all the tools anyone can give you, can share with you, it's so important that you figure out a way to apply this. Somebody said, I accept your apology by faith. Y'all are funny. You hear me? Listen, by faith, that's speaking into the future. Real though. Sometimes that's what it is. So application is one of the most important things, right? So in the application, how to accept an apology, our response matters. Right. So believe it or not, your response to an apology is just as important as the apology. Exactly. It's like the apology is the seed. Your response is the soil. Oh, nope. The soil. Yeah, not the water. Not even the water yet, because we haven't even gotten to that. Exactly, because if I plant the seed of apology and the soil is not turned over, fertile, and hard and brittle, the seed is going to hit the soil, bounce off of it, and it will never take root. So it can't be watered. It can't grow anything. It can't mature. It can't be nurtured. Nothing can happen because I'm planting a seed and that seed bounces off, right? So my response matters. I have to be receptive. It's like making love in marriage. It's like just because a man is excited and ready to make love and have sex, if the woman is not ready to receive his seed, to receive him, then nothing's going down, right? And so there has to be acceptance. There have to be receiving. This Marriage Monday, single people, this is what it is, okay? All right, so you got to be ready. So the apology is just the receptiveness, the exception, the receptiveness of the apology is just as important as the apology. And so you can't have a culture in your marriage where you're like, oh, I ain't gonna say it because you don't mean it, and if I say it, you won't mean it because none of that matters, because it doesn't give you an opportunity to even plant the seed to be able to see what type of harvest. And so we got a whole bunch of marriages that have seeds that are on top of soil that has never been taken, or a whole bunch of marriages who don't know how to receive the seed of that apology. So there's a whole bunch of unspoken, much needed apologies that are in the atmosphere that are not being receptive.
So you're telling me that when I'm hurt, when I get offended, I have to make sure that my heart is a place where apology can be even received.
Exactly.
So just as quick as I'm offended is as quick as I need to be open for an apology.
To a healthy marriage is a relationship that is ready to express forgiveness, accept forgiveness. It's fluid, it's allowed. And in that process, then the receptiveness has to happen, right? So here we go again. Go back and watch Marriage Monday a couple weeks ago and stop and stay out of judgment. Can everybody just type stay out of judgment for the people in the back? Doesn't matter how they apologize, meaning one may say it, someone may show it. I guess the one that shows it eventually will say it. It's so interesting. Great point. But again, we have to just stay out of judgment. Stay out of judgment. Stay out of judgment and allow people in your marriage, allow your relationship to be expressive without judging the expression.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how they apologize. Here, today, how about this? Today, we're not going to talk about how they apologize. We're going to talk about how you receive it. All right?
Right.
What do you want to say, babe, before I jump into this? Because they won't stay out of judgment.
I know that. And I think, because I think for some people, it's just kind of like judgment is that, first of all, I have to deal with the fact that I'm judging because I feel
out of judgment.
I feel validated in judging this.
Yes.
I feel that in order for an apology to be accepted, I should be able to judge it.
Nope. That's all wrong. Here,
I know it's wrong.
Let's get into it. Number one, because I don't want to waste no time. Let's get into it. You ready? Number one, for apology to be accepted, it first has to be acknowledged. All right. We're not talking about the person apologizing. We're talking about the person that's receiving the apology. So some of us don't know how to apologize, and some of us don't know how to accept an apology.
Right.
So when I accept an apology, babe, we're going to do role play, okay? So we can show it for the people, all right? So when I accept the apology, you got to say the words, I accept your apology, and it does not mean you deny how you feel about the offense. Check it out. Hear what I'm saying. When I acknowledge your apology, you apologize to me, and I can acknowledge it is okay for me to, don't say, no, that's all right. I'm straight. No, it's okay. No, I mean, I'm straight. Don't worry about. No.
I need to acknowledge. That you let those words come out of your mouth.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for apologizing. That really helped me a lot because that really hurt me a lot. It was very painful what you did. I felt disrespected. I felt unloved. I felt rejected. I felt ignored. I felt like I wasn't a priority. So when you acknowledge that and you apologize, you teach me, you show me that it matters and that you care. And I acknowledge that you apologize. And I thank you. I can thank you for that apology. I accept your apology. I received that apology. I needed that apology because it was deep. It was hurtful. I don't think that you necessarily meant to do it. Maybe you did. I'm not sure. I'm going to stay out of judgment. But I will say that hindered me. It hurt me. It impacted me. And I acknowledge that you apologize.
So to me, the acknowledgement make sure that you're not prideful, because usually when somebody apologizes to you and you try to blow it off because you don't want them to know that they hurt you.
No, I'm good.
Look, that does not allow you.
Look at Tim. No, I'm good. That's what people do.
And you do that because you don't
want
them to even.
That's that soil.
Yep.
Boom.
So you don't receive it, and you do not get the depth of even what that offense is going to even give you.
You know what's deeper, babe? You teaching your spouse how not to apologize. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You teaching them
you teaching your spouse, you teaching other relationships, you teaching your it goes so far.
You're teaching your marriage not to apologize, because if you apologize, I'm probably
not going to acknowledge.
I'm good. It was straight. I'm straight.
And really, gonna do it.
And it's a lie, because the reality is I just didn't want you to know how it impacted me, but I did want you to know how it impacted me, because I wanted you to apologize, but I didn't want to accept your apology, because then that would make me vulnerable. Mm-hmm. That would mean that I was waiting for your apology. I really didn't want to wait for your apology, because I didn't want you to know that if you didn't apologize, it would hurt me. I didn't want to be that vulnerable. So I'm straight.
And thanks. I want you to know that I feel like that I got my feelings on my sleeve. And basically acknowledgement just puts you in a place of vulnerability.
Yeah. And you're teaching your spouse, you're teaching them, however you acknowledge whatever they do is teaching them what to do, what's allowed, what can be done in the context of the relationship.
So I could be basically holding a repeat, quote unquote, like some people say they don't receive people's apology because they're a repeat offender.
Yeah.
But you can be a repeat offender because the person that is supposed to be acknowledging the apology is not acknowledging the apology. So then you're teaching your mate. They're being held responsible for something that you would not even articulate affected you. Well, so they don't even know how to correct it, because you don't even acknowledge
that they did it. Because you're in judgment. You don't mean that. If it was real, then this is that. You start judging it. Well, if it was sincere, you would have apologized like this. You would have did it like that. Some people don't know how to say it, but they give you a gift. They give you flowers. They buy you something. It's still an acknowledgement. Everybody is not as articulate. So just because they don't say it the way you want them to say it, do you discount it? Do you discredit it? Because they perhaps bought you something because that's your love language, or they wrote you a note because they couldn't say it because they didn't think what to say. They were embarrassed, right? So should you not acknowledge an apology just because it wasn't
come the way that you wanted it to come?
Finish my sentence, girl. Finish it.
And it's so crazy because
that's what we do.
5 love languages is all of that.
Don't go in there. That's a whole different thing.
But what I'm saying is
it's true.
Your apology, your acknowledgement, you're expecting somebody to be in your head. You're expecting somebody to be you, versus simply just looking at this is what it is, and to make sure that our relationship is able to move forward, and that it can grow, and that it can grow, and it can have some depth. Right. You just simply need to acknowledge it.
And when I'm in that space, I think what people feel like or think they're going to give up is they're going to give up their feeling about it. I can acknowledge that you apologize and still express how it made me feel without rehearsing it or trying to condemn you in the moment. But I can still be able to acknowledge I got that apology. You text me, you're going to ignore the text just because you wanted them to say it
in person.
So then you want them to come on and say, "Did you see my text?" Yeah, I saw your text. Well, why you didn't say nothing? Because you being petty. You telling me that my texts don't matter, but sometimes my texts do matter. Like they're like, just because I didn't give it to you in the way you wanted it done, does that mean you should not acknowledge it? No. Because now we got barriers, we got walls, because it took a lot for me to text you, order flowers, cook dinner, clean up the room, try to right my wrong, write you a note,
and then you'll say,
make you a playlist.
They just trying to get back in my good graces.
Y'all all right tonight?
And you be prideful with that.
They going
no acknowledgement is pride.
Come on, guys.
That's so dope.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Let's get to number 2. All right, let's go. They going in. Come on, let's number 2. Number 2. Y'all all right? Here we go. Appreciate it. This one seems obvious. But if I don't like the apology,
then I don't appreciate it.
Or if I judge it, if I don't believe you're going to change, if I don't believe things will be different, then I will not show appreciation for the apology. I do not take into consideration how difficult it may have been for you to apologize. So when I appreciate it, I include the appreciation. I tell you what it means to me to have received your apology, right? So this is a way to show empathy. This is like, so everybody write down, I appreciate your apology. All right. So first I acknowledge your apology. And now I appreciate your apology. This means so much to me. I really needed to hear that.
Yeah.
I really needed to hear you apologize because I wasn't sure if you had any understanding about how deep this thing cut me. I really am hurt. I can still acknowledge my pain, my difficulty, my frustration in it, but I can appreciate the fact that you didn't take me for granted. You didn't take it for granted. You didn't diminish it. You didn't underestimate the pressure that it put on our relationship.
Right. I think, man, it's just, I just feel like I feel a certain kind of way because I just believe these are such great opportunities for depth in the relationship.
It is a depth
and to come to a space, but like you said, that you think that sometimes people, if they appreciate it, then it will diminish how they feel. And I think at the end of the day, they're more concerned
about them.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Selfish.
It is selfish.
You don't have no place for that in this moment. Here, how about this one? How about this level of honesty? You know what? I appreciate your apology. I acknowledge that you apologize. I appreciate your apology. But you know what, real talk? I think I still need time to process this. I'm not ready. I can't move on that fast. All right. So I hear you. I acknowledge it. I appreciate that you took time sincerely to apologize. But I need to think about this for a moment. I need to consider, I want to be genuine in moving forward. Is that too much? I mean, because we grown in this relationship, like you don't get to just apologize to erase it.
Right.
You get to apologize so we can decide how to move forward in it. And you just, as your apology is genuine, you need my acceptance of that apology to be genuine. And I don't want to lie to you just because you apologized.
But that's, what people say that I'm supposed to.
I want to be able to appreciate your apology, acknowledge that you apologize, but still tell you that I'm praying about this. I'm still working through it. I got to go on a fast, get my flesh together. I'm going to see my counselor on Thursday. I had to call my pastor. I had to call my friend. I had to get in the class. I had to read a book. I had to go journal. I had to process this because this happened before or because this hurt me deep. I had to understand why it hurt me so deep. I acknowledge it. I appreciate it. But I gotta be honest that I'm not sure that I'm over it yet. And I'm sure that you're over it. You want it to be over because you apologize, but I really want to help get over it. And I believe we're going to work through this. I believe we're going to get past it, but real talk, I don't know that I'm ready just yet. So I acknowledge it and I appreciate it. But just give me a minute, okay? I promise this ain't about holding no grudges. This ain't about throwing it back in your face. This ain't about building a wall, no barrier. This is just about me being honest with me. And for me to be honest with me, I gotta be honest that I hear you. I acknowledge it. I thank you for doing it, but I'm not ready to move on yet. We too grown? Is it too grown tonight? Where y'all at? What y'all doing? Y'all out there? What's happening?
They got questions.
Is that too much? Is that too much? Mm-hmm. Somebody said that's being petty. Somebody said just accept the apology. I can accept it, but if I'm not honest, I'm gonna live a lie to appease you. Now I'm appeasing you because you want to move forward, and in marriage that don't work because
it's gonna come out somewhere else.
I'm still holding on to it.
It's going to come out somewhere else.
And it's better for me to be honest that I'm in a process. I'm in a process of managing the tension of what I just experienced. Even though I want to just move through it, I really want us to be deeper. I really want us to grow more. And I really gotta get over it. I gotta forgive you. I gotta love you. I can't hold a grudge. I can't be bitter, but I cannot underestimate how this impacted me because I did it too many times. I swept it under the rug too many times in my life. And that's why I'm so sensitive. That's why I'm so tender. That's why every time you brush up against it, I bleed all over again and I fall out all over again, because that thing ain't a scar. It's still a wound. Because I never really dealt with what it did to me. I only tried to help you not feel bad about what you did, but I wasn't never honest enough about how it impacted me. And this time, I need to acknowledge your apology. I need to appreciate you, but I gotta be honest with me about what it did to me if I'm gonna be any good for you.
And this is so...
You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? And that's real. What you want to say?
No, go ahead.
No, say what you want to say. I just wanted them to hear what we said before they moved on, because people sweep it under the rug and they don't always, and they sometimes at their own expense. Sometimes at their own expense. I was talking to a wife today of someone, and she was acknowledging that sometimes at her own expense, for trying to spare the feelings of her spouse, she will suppress her own feelings and don't say what she needs to say for her own health, because she's trying to spare his feelings because of how she might say it might come off wrong. And I told her that if it's love, if it's honest, if it's in truth and is love, you gotta say it, because it's not fair for you to continually to suppress your emotions and your feelings, because at the expense of yourself for the other person over and over again, because over time that's going to explode. Yes, you should care about the other person's feelings, but that's their feelings. They have to be grown enough to deal with their feelings, just like you have to be grown enough to deal with your feelings. But if you don't have space to process it in your marriage, then you start looking outside and around your marriage to be able to process how you feel, because you don't feel like you're in a safe space to be honest about how you feel. And you keep taking the hits for how they might feel instead of acknowledging your feelings in the process.
Right. Because I think that offense can be, offense can be a jewel. It can be something that when it happens to you, if you process it right, if you don't sweep it under the rug, it can acknowledge some things inside of you, and it can acknowledge some things that inside of your relationship that has never or have not been dealt with. But it is, as you said, to appreciate the process, to have enough courage to say, I can't just go past this right now.
I got to deal with this. And I don't have to disrespect you. I don't have to cuss you out. I don't have to be offensive. But
I don't have to make you feel bad.
I don't have to make you feel bad. This is my stuff. But I got to be honest that I don't want to explode later. And explode you don't always explode like, everybody explodes different, right? It's not always going to end in a fight, a fuss, a cuss. Sometimes exploding ends in something extramarital. And it doesn't always have to be physical. It can explode in something extramarital because you find something or someone outside of your marriage that can handle your true feelings and your emotions. And that's how it always began. Oh, tell me how you really feel. I can handle it. So you're telling someone else what you were shielding from your spouse because you're trying to protect your spouse, but at your own expense. And then you end up being in a space where that lie that you told in your marriage costs you to tell the truth outside of your marriage, because you have to be old enough, grown enough, mature enough, friendships, relationships, married people, single people, everybody to say, hey, I appreciate your apology, but I'm not sure that I just want to roll past it because you might be ready to just apologize so we can move on. But I'm gonna move through this with you, but I'm not gonna move on before I know how it impacted me. You understand what I'm saying? Is this too much? Yeah.
It's not too much.
If it is, it is, or it ain't. It is what it is. All right, here we go. So I want you to understand that when you do that, you are protecting the possibility of what's being said and what's being done. Here, the last one and the third one, and I think it's why I only got 3 tonight because it's too much. All right, third one. Here we go. Y'all ready? affirm.
Mm-hmm.
Affirm. All right. So when I acknowledge it, when I appreciate it, then I affirm it.
Right.
I affirm the apology. The apology giver is on the hook until you let them off. They're on the hook until you let them off, right? So I'm affirming them. Thank you very much. I'm not making light of this situation. I'm not playing it off. I'm not playing it low, right? I need to let them know that I accept it. I affirm it. I don't want to discount my need for the apology, but I affirm it. Thank you very much. Thank you for doing that. It matters. Thank you. I affirm it. I affirm it. I affirm that you did that. Come on. I affirm the apology. That's right. Y'all good. Come on. I affirm this apology. I accept it. I affirm it. It's real. It's sincere. I get it. I can handle it. And this was great for me. And I acknowledge that you did it. And yeah, we're going to get through this together. Yeah, we're going to work through this.
You can't affirm and say, I don't think you meant that.
That's judgment. Stay out of judgment.
I'm just making sure.
It's none of my business. It's my business, my thoughts. If I think whatever I think about it, and that's not right.
I gotta own that.
That's not right. You did it. I affirm it. I affirm you in this moment. That perhaps was tough for you. You had to not be prideful. You had to acknowledge you're wrong. You had to text me. You had to buy me flowers. You had to cook me a meal. You had to make up. You had to, I don't know, whatever you did to get you there. That's what it was, right? And so when I affirm it, I can also affirm it by a kiss. I can affirm it by a holding of a hand.
Or bringing you back close into that space.
If there was a separation, I can affirm it by trusting you with new information. I can affirm it by trusting you with new information, by telling you something. If you violated me with a promise kept or something, I can affirm you by asking you again to do something different, by extending trust to you. I can affirm by extending trust. I can affirm by makeup sex. We can you wasn't touching me. You was mad at me for a couple of days. If we let it get that far, because we shouldn't let the sun go down. But sometimes we do, right? Your pinky toe wasn't touching me. You was on the other side of the bed. I was over here, right? And I affirm you. No, we should never be on the couch. I
understand, but some people don't know that.
No. We don't leave our bedroom. No, I don't care how mad you are. We don't leave our bedroom. We don't leave our room. Nobody get to put nobody out on the couch. This is my bed. You don't want to touch me. You don't want to make love to me. That's on you. But this much is my bed is your bed. Never leave your bed. You hear what I'm saying? Never leave your bed. All right? And so back to what I was saying, we can affirm by getting physical. We can affirm by having sex. Sex is a great way for affirmation, right? It's always a good option, but it's not the only option. But makeup sex is incredible. So affirmation of that circumstance, affirmation of that moment is a great way to come back together. It's saying there was a distance between us, and now we're back, right? Touch you always like to touch me. You want to touch my hair. You want to touch my shoulder, right? What? Why are your cheeks getting red?
Why? It's not getting red.
It's your whole face is red. They can see your face is getting red. What?
I just like touching.
I'm just saying the touching is an opportunity for affirmation. So it's how we can affirm, right? So when we get that much needed apology, when the affirmation is there, when it's accepted, this closeness, this coming together is very, very essential and very important. So that's what you do to bring it together. You got me?
Yeah.
All right. You got me?
Never leave your
bed. Never leave your bed. That's a whole, but that's what we talk about in marriage counseling and in our marriage coaching and stuff. You be bringing in stuff that we ain't talking about right now.
Sorry.
But you can't leave your bed. Never leave your bed. I don't care how difficult it is. Never leave your bed. Don't be, that's just dumb. That's ridiculous. I mean, as a preference, that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you saying this, you snore, I don't snore, you like it hot, I like it cold. That's one thing, right? As an agreement. But because of an argument, you never leave your bed. You never say, I'm leaving my bedroom. I'm sleeping in a different room. I'm sleeping on the couch. That's creating more space, more distance between you. You can't have distance between you and your relationship.
Especially when you're trying to come and make amends. You can't have distance.
Yeah.
Distance does not help you to come back together and to align.
Here's my caveat before I get to that, because I didn't want to open that up. My wife just thought she'd throw it out there, but I don't want to bring it. Okay, here's my other thing in this wrap up. How do you accept an apology that you may never get? How do you accept an apology that you may never get? I have to bring this up on my final week of apology because some of you are holding your breath for an apology you're never going to get. And that's why they're out the room. That's why you're not sleeping together. That's why you're not making love. That's why you don't eat dinner together. That's why you haven't gone out on a date, because an offense happened, a hurt happened, and I'm sorry that happened. And you're holding your breath for an apology that you will never get because you're waiting for the other person to apologize, and they're not going to apologize. And it may have nothing to do with you. They may never apologize because they didn't learn how to apologize. They may never apologize because when they were a child, they got beat for apologizing. They may never apologize because the last person it may have something so deep to you. They may be trying to show you that they are sorry in another way. Right. They may be trying to show you that they apologize in another way that has nothing to do with the way that you think they should do it. I know you didn't see that one coming. I told you 3, I threw in 4. But here, they may be apologizing, trying to apologize to you in a way that you don't accept or receive or don't think is legitimate, but it may be sincere. It may be honest. It may be their truth. And you're holding your breath, holding your marriage, holding your family, holding your relationship
hostage. Wow.
Hostage for an apology that you may never get. How do you handle an apology that you may never get, that you need to receive if they never say it? How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you learn to do it? It's very important. It's important. It's hindering your relationship. Had a breakthrough in the relationship with my father when I was about 19 years old. My father was involved in my life, a part of my life, my whole life. He's a great dad. I didn't know he was a great dad till I became a man. The ignorance of my youth prohibited me from seeing his perspectives, his presence, his methods even. They weren't what I wanted, but I was a child. What did I know? So I held grudges for my father, who was there, who worked, who was with my mom, who raised his family, who did everything. He provided, he did everything he could do, everything he thought he could do, everything he learned how to do. But every little thing that he did that I didn't like that he did, I held against him deeply. It became a deep wound for me that I didn't even know. It was a barrier, almost a blockage. I had a strong disdain for my father, almost to the point that sometimes I said I hated him. My mother would correct me and say, never say you hate your father. I say, but I hate him. I don't even know why to this day why I would use such language or such words, because as I became a man, he did the very best he could. I remember my pastor having a conversation with me and telling me that in order for me, that God wanted to use my life to speak to men. He wanted to use my life to reach men in a deep way. But in order for that to take place, I was going to be used to speak to men in a deep way. God was going to use me to minister to families. But in order for that to happen, I needed to heal in the space of my father wound. I went back and forth with my pastor. I don't have no father wound. What you talking about? I don't got no father wound. He said, yes, you do have a father wound. I said, I never talked to you about my dad, so how would you know that? He discerned it. Long story short, we talked, we wept, we cried. My pastor and I, he walked me through the process, and I saw it and I understood it. I'll never forget the day when I was with my dad and I walked up to him and I told my father, who did not ask, did not say anything. I walked up to him and I said, Dad, you know what? I want you to forgive me. I want you to forgive me for everything, every feeling, every thought, every emotion that I had towards you that was not right, that was disrespectful. And I want you to know that I forgive you for everything that I ever took offense that you did. Everything that you ever did to me that you took offense, whether you know it or not, I release you. I let you go from that, and I forgive you, as well as I want you to forgive me for holding that offenses that I held against you that you didn't even know I held against you, grudges that I had with you that you didn't even know that I had with you, because I never acknowledged it. I never said it to you, but I've held it in my heart. And my dad and I stood there man to man. At that time, I was 19 years old, and he looked at me. And for the first time in my life that I remembered, my father said to me that he loved me. Now, I never heard him say to me that he loved me, but love is supposed to be a affirmation, right? Not a revelation. And so he had took care of me, raised me, provided for me, been there for me, trained me. He done everything that love does. He done everything that love does, but he never said he loved me before. And because he never said he loved me before, then I diminished his love for me and held a grudge for me. But when I said that to him, he released the words out of his mouth. I love you and thank you. And I accept your apology. And then he asked for an apology from me. But I released him before he ever asked, because he didn't even know he needed to apologize, because I had held it so deep in my heart. What do you do when you have to accept an apology that you may never get? You have to choose to accept that apology and stop waiting for the person to apologize in the way that you think they need to apologize. Because forgiveness frees you. It doesn't it doesn't just free the other person. It frees you. It frees you. It releases you into everything that you're supposed to do and everything you're supposed to be. And some of you are holding grudges from your spouse that you held. Some ladies, you're holding grudges from your husbands that really belong to your fathers. They're really pains that your father caused you, and you're waiting for your father to apologize for something that he hasn't. And when your husband does anything that reminds you of that, you add that on to his deposit. That's not right. Some men, you're holding on to unforgiveness to your wives from women that have let you down previously, mothers, other women, figures in your life, and all of this projection that we add, bringing other relationships into the relationships and letting it be compounded upon each other, and it's building up. And we're waiting for it to be done, or we're waiting for a particular response in the manner that we want it done, instead of just clearing the air and creating an apologetic culture where we can exchange and give forgiveness freely, and we can express our feelings with love and honesty and truth, and then be in a space where healing, where this culture of our family becomes a culture of healing, a culture of restoration, a culture of love, and a culture where we communicate beyond just the moment and stop blaming and pointing fingers at each other for what's been done in our lives, and then trying to make the other person responsible for everything. And there's some places and sometimes where that's warranted, because the person you're married to is the repeat offender. They are the person that caused the pain. But you haven't properly expressed why that's a pain, why that's a trigger. And so it continues to fester and create a bondage in your marriage instead of a bond.
It's so good. My God. It's quiet.
Y'all okay?
They're okay. They're processing. They had the numbers.
Listen, I'm praying for you because I need you to heal. I need you to trust your husband, even if you didn't trust your father. I need you to trust your husband, even if you did trust your father and your husband is not as great as your father. I need you to trust your wife and love your wife, even if she hurts you, or even if her mouth hurt you because the way she talked about you or discounted you, discredited you, tore you down, didn't understand your history, took you for granted, didn't say thank you, didn't acknowledge your sacrifices. Hey, everybody's got pain in the context of the relationship, but let your marriage be a restorative culture where you can heal and bring healing. All right. Before I pray for you and let you go, because it's over time, there's only one time when accepting an apology in that context isn't an answer, right? Whenever there's violence, domestic violence, abuse, I'm not going to play with this, sugarcoat it. Whenever there's domestic violence, whenever there's abuse, whenever there's physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, that's harming and tearing down and ripping you down, accept the apology, but move on. Accept the apology, but get out. Accept the apology, but protect yourself. Accept the apology, but protect your children. Accept the apology, but don't stay in an abusive relationship and let I apologize be a caveat to continue the abuse. It's never okay. The one time accepting an apology is not an answer is whenever there's violence, there's abuse, there's hurt, there's continual pain, right? Infidelity, you can forgive through that. Hopefully it's not repeat. Hopefully the person wants to get better. Here's the thing, whether you stay or whether you go, you have to forgive.
Yeah.
Either way. Whether you're with them or not with them, you have to forgive either way because you got to go on with your life and you can't carry it. Right. But at the same space and the same point, if your life is in harm or in danger, don't let an apology be the reason why you stay. Be safe.
Right.
And get to a safe space. Put your family in a safe space and still accept the apology. Exactly. And still accept the apology that you may never get. But just because you accept that apology don't mean that you stay. Y'all okay? Deep tonight. All right. I think it's enough. I'm praying for you. Y'all got questions? I'm praying for you. What's our 3? Write them down on one line so I know you got them. Acknowledge, appreciate, affirm. Acknowledge, appreciate, affirm. Learn how to accept apology you may never get. And abuse is the deal breaker. Yeah. Stay out of judgment. Quit judging your spouse because they didn't say it the way you want them to say it. Accept that text message as an apology. Accept them flowers as an apology. That dinner that was cooked when you got home as an apology. Okay. The way y'all made love after you got through fussing, that's an apology. You can't wake up mad after that. You need to go screw right now. You understand what I'm saying? And accept the apology. Quit holding a grudge. You know you both want each other. Sitting there looking stupid, hot and bothered with a ring on. You quit, get unbothered. Just get hot and go handle it. All right? And love each other. Let your guards down. Let it go. Just let it go. Let yourself go and go for it. All right? Listen, you need it in your life. It's what it is. You got it? Come on. How do I accept an apology when the abuser sends messages of apologizing for some things, but then block you before you can process or talk about it? If they are an abuser, I say again, the abuser is the only time when there's not an apology accepted. Find some help. Get a counselor. Yeah. Get a number. Get a 1-800 number. Get a third party. If you're in an abusive situation, you're in a situation that's beyond your own ability. Hear me. If you're in a situation that's beyond your own ability, get a counselor. Get a third party. Can I tell you why most marriages, they're just missing information? It's not that the marriage is bad. It's just the tools are bad. You don't have tools and you don't learn it. The ingredients is bad. You didn't learn it right. And that's why we come here on Mondays and try to provide you with tools, because the ingredients ain't right. You just don't know what you don't know. But once you know it, don't just take a bunch of notes. Go practice this stuff, and everything you learn will be tested. Yeah. Right. That's why we're adamant about this and hitting you on Mondays. Now the format is going to change. I keep telling you, the format is going to change. This is going to change because we have to give our energy to a more concentrated way. We want to do marriage coaching, marriage mentoring for marriages where we walk them through a process. Yeah. So some of this stuff become practical. You're going to hear about this coming up. It's going to be a class. It will be for pay. It will not be for free. This is a free environment. A third of you sow out of the 300 of you that's streaming, about a third of you sow into this, and the other rest of you come get the information and move on. But there's a principle that's at work there that you're going to have to learn about being able. It's not if you don't have something, but when you have something, you got to give to it. You got to give to what gives to you. You have to feed what feeds you, or you can't use it. Right? You can't. The law of the earth, the law of the kingdom. You have to sow spiritual, natural for spiritual, tangible for intangibles. And that's why when you go to a counselor, there's a fee. And think about it. When you go to a counselor, there's a fee. They don't talk to you this much. When you go to a counselor, you pay them to what? Listen. You pay them to listen to you. They ask you questions. You answer their questions. You pay them to listen to you, and yet you will come here, receive information, and walk away without sowing. Listen, we can't continue to do this for free. All right. So the platform is changing. Some of you are asking us for marriage counseling. You're asking us for marriage coaching, marriage mentoring, and we're managing our time so we can be able to do this in a way that gets your marriage from here to here, because that's our goal. We're fighting for the family. We're believing in the family, and we want your family to win. And so the platform's going to change, and some of the Marriage Mondays on YouTube are going to disappear. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, go do it so you can check them out. We're just going to protect it so we can do it in a different way. We want to help everybody. We're still going to do Marriage Monday. We just won't do it in this manner because we're getting deep now. And I don't want it to be generalized. When we start getting deep, I want to make sure that I can help you walk through a process of healing so your marriage can be better. We've seen it. We know it's possible, and we know it's there. All right. For all my single people, y'all don't play.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, y'all registering y'all face off for this living single.
But listen,
and it's almost over.
I was just about to
be
say,
closed.
Don't wait to the last minute to register. You know, this is what you need to be a part of. I'm telling you, it's going to be so many great principles, so many great tools for you living single. It's not all about dating. It's about you being a successful single person, because as we always say, a whole person makes a great marriage. And so we want you to be whole. We want you to be healed. But more importantly, well, not more importantly, equally as importantly, we want you to have the tools, so that the tools that you need to be successfully single.
This is a coaching platform. Again, I'm not talking about what I talked about at Soul Sessions. That was crazy. This is about giving you tools: time management, money management, vision, values. We're going to help you build a blueprint for your life, because the soul attracts what the soul is. So I'm going to help you build a blueprint for your life so you become more attractive for what you're attracted to. All right. And so spend these 2 hours with me August 29th. Go register on my website. It is going to be limited because I'm coaching. I'm doing it by myself, and I have to have enough people in there that I can handle. Okay. So don't wait till the last minute, because it will be closed. But y'all blowing this up on the spot. Y'all single people, y'all ain't playing. Y'all wasn't playing about Soul Sessions. 500 plus of y'all registered, and we up in the numbers here for living single. So go register, log on, because I don't want you to miss it. Block that date and bring a friend and lock it in. All right. And to all my marriage people, or everybody that get blessed, if tonight blessed you, if it helped you, sow a seed, plant a moment. What would it be if this moment wasn't here? Right? How much was it worth to you? What would it cost you to get what you learned tonight? How is this helping you heal and be in the process? I want you to be careful. Make sure that you plant a seed. Find something to sow that matches the value that's been added. All right. And this isn't about me trying to get something from you, us trying to get something from you. It's trying to get something to you. If it was strictly about getting something from you, we would have you pay before you would watch. All right. So we give it on an honor system that if you receive, you'll give to what you receive. And this isn't just about like trying to get rich off the moment, but this is about us being honorable to God and stewarding the gifts that he gave us and the information that we share with you to make sure that we handle it right. So if this helped you, we hope that it bless you and that you gained something out of it and that you're sowing into what you believe. All right. So learn how to accept an apology. Last week, it was, is it too late to apologize? Never. So if you need to apologize, quit being prideful, go ahead and apologize. Give that person the apology. And if somebody already apologized and you was acting funky, quit acting funky and accept that apology. Don't be that. All right. Don't be that, and make sure that you provide that opportunity for them to heal in that space. What you want to say, baby? You've been listening. I know you felt I needed to minister tonight, so I really quiet, but I want you to say whatever you need to say. They want to hear from you too.
I do. I really did not want to interrupt, because I know that unforgiveness and resentment is real, and some relationships cannot move forward because of that. And most of the time, if an apology was given, it would have allowed them to get deeper into their relationship and to develop a greater bond. So I didn't want to mess with that, because I know for some people, it's a process. They're processing all of this information and battling within themselves. Am I going to give that? Am I going to be vulnerable? That was years ago. Like, why am I still feeling that certain kind of way? Why? Like, all of it is real. So I felt like it was an extremely real moment. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you take a hold of this information and you learn how to do it, you're going to see major improvements in your relationship.
Yeah. And some of you, real talk, I can feel it still in the atmosphere. You're so bitter. You're so hurt. Somebody wronged you. And we acknowledge that. You might even been through a divorce and you feel like it's too late and it's too much damage that's been done. I'm saying to you, accept the apology you may never get, so you can free your life. You want to be in a new relationship, you want to move forward, but bitterness, you can't attract better with bitterness. You can't attract better with bitterness. You're going to attract more bitterness. So you got to heal. Let it go. I know the disappointment, the hurt, the difficulty, whatever it caused you that you never received, let it go. Accept the apology you may never get and know that God loves you, and forgive them and release it into their life. Do not play with that because it's only keeping you in a prison. All right. So even if you're divorced, even if you're broken in a broken marriage, give yourself a clean slate and allow yourself to experience love and truth. All right. Come on, let's do the marriage confession. My marriage is blessed.
My marriage is blessed.
My spouse and I are led by the Spirit of God.
My spouse and I are led by the Spirit of God.
When we pray together.
When we pray together.
In unity.
In unity.
Our prayers are powerful.
Our prayers are powerful.
And we get results.
And we get results.
We make every effort.
We make every effort.
To establish peace and harmony in our home.
To establish peace and harmony in our home.
Together we walk in agreement.
Together we walk in agreement.
And we are an unstoppable force.
And we are an unstoppable force.
If we get angry,
we
are quick to forgive.
We are quick to forgive.
So that we do not have strife in our relationships.
So that we do not have strife in our relationships.
We are not self-seeking.
We are not self-seeking.
Rude, proud, boastful, or jealous. Instead, we are loving, kind, patient. We put each other's needs. Before our own. We trust each other. And we protect the sanctity of our marriage. God joined us together as one.
God has joined us together as one.
And we will not be separated. Listen, we love you guys. Those of you that keep asking us for marriage coaching and marriage counseling, we're getting it together in just a few weeks. Okay. We're going to let you know how we're going to do that in a format that will be beneficial to your future. And for those of you that continue to sow, thank you for sowing. We will always let you know what our next moves are, because you're letting us know that you don't want this to go away or to disappear. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for rocking with us. We don't have a clue what the song should be tonight. It was just so really much that we just thought it should just go out sober. I don't know if y'all got a suggestion, y'all let me know. But the only one I could think of somebody that was just begging it out was just Anthony Hamilton. He was singing to Charlene back in the day. I remember that song. He was singing to Charlene like with a fierceness of just asking her to please forgive him and come on back home and all that. So I don't know. I couldn't think of nothing. I'm just going to rock it out with Anthony Hamilton tonight because he brought it and he made it good for me. I love y'all. I hope that y'all appreciate these times that we have. Ooh, today was a tough one. It was a long day. We didn't take it off. We showed up. I know, Teddy Pendergrass. He's right. Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about him. Teddy would have bagged us out. That's right. That's right. Somebody asking for your Cash App, babe. It's Lady Erica Glenn. Lady Glenn. Lady Glenn is her Cash App. Yeah. But we love you. Thank you for rocking with us. Share this, tag this with somebody before it disappears. If you know somebody needed this message, make sure that you let them know that we talked tonight about accepting an apology. I'm gonna take a rest because it's been a long weekend. I preached yesterday my soul out. Saturday was a lot. Today we poured tonight, but we hope that you got something out of it. Hey, Anthony said, I'm gonna be sitting right here waiting for you to come home. You hear me? I'm gonna be here to the very end. I know I messed up, girl, but I'm gonna be by your side to protect you and to love you and to be with you for life. Come on, forgive your brother, forgive your father, forgive your mother, forgive your ex, forgive your baby daddy, forgive your baby mama, forgive everybody. Accept the apology you may never get. because your life is not worth carrying the baggage of anybody else, anybody abuse. You know what, Father, I pray in Jesus' name for anybody that's dealing with that you give them the grace that they need to be able to, the strength that they need to follow through in your word and to apply it. That they remember that you love them, you forgive them no matter what, that they can do the same, and that they no longer hold their breath waiting for somebody to give them what you already gave them, which is forgiveness. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Love you. Bet you're glad you waited for the prayer tonight and the music. Hey, forgive your cousin. That's right. Forgive them. Forgive your cousin, your brother, your sister. Nobody's worth it, all right? Forgive your father. I know it's hard.
I know, but it frees you.
Forgive him. What I did to forgive my father, maybe I'll have to do a session on that. I just learned more about him. Empathy. Go back and watch it. Empathy taught me how to forgive my dad, because I realized everything he did, he didn't do intentional. He just did the best that he could with what he knew. All right? So let him go. Come on. Grace to go. Come on, you're going to sleep tonight. We're going to let it go. We stirred up some stuff, but you're going to receive this peace tonight. Come on, I know. Come on. Listen to Anthony. He crying. Hurts so bad. Come on, dude. Beg, Aunt. I hope and pray she come back someday. Hey. That's right. Forgive your ex. Come on. Y'all bold. Write it down. I forgive my ex. I see it. I forgive my father. Come on, let it go.
You need to forgive.
I forgive him. I forgive him.
Put it out there.
Yeah. I let it go, and I'm letting God. Come on. I forgive my husband. I forgive my wife. I see it. Come on.
Y'all got me crying.
I ain't trying to have you cry, but let it out.
No, let it all out.
Don't hold it out. Don't hold it in. Blessings to you. Heal. Come on home.
Man,
hey.
What are you going to get out of this moment of forgiveness? What is God about to give to you? Wow.
Yeah, I forgive my ex-husband. Yeah. That's right. Come on. Sometimes you cry. Yeah. Forgive my dad. Praying for you. Again. Yeah. I forgive myself. Oh. Yeah. I forgive my husband. I forgive my mom. That's real.
It's so good, y'all.
Love y'all. That's real. Let it out. I'm going to stick with you for a moment. Come on. Let it out. That's right.
So good.
I'm releasing it. I'm releasing it tonight. Come on. I forgive my brother. I forgive my ex. Yep.
Forgive my mother, my father,
and my husband. Yep. It gets built up.
You. Come on.
It gets built up. That's right.
I want to be made whole. Yes, you will be.
Yes, God. Forgive. Let it go. I forgive my son. That's right. You got to let it go now. Let it go now. Be healed. Be restored. God forgave you. You can forgive. I forgive my family for not helping me take care of my mother.
Come on.
That's right. Forgive. You got to accept the apology. I forgive my pastor. That's right. You got to accept the apology that you may never get. Accept it. Hear it. Receive it. Experience it. Feel it. That's real.
Come on.
Forgive it.
I can't attract
better
with bitterness.
You can't attract better with bitterness. You cannot. You cannot. You don't let it bottle up. Let it go. Let it go. Thank you. We love y'all.
Love y'all so much.
We love y'all. We praying for you.
Courage be unto you this week.
Yeah. You're gonna make it. Release it.
And you're gonna do it.
Let it go. You're gonna be better after this. Keep healing. Keep letting God's love and his presence and his power teach you how to accept an apology.
Yeah.
Peace.